The desert has no clock, yet it knows when love begins. It beats not with time, but with memory. And somewhere between the whisper of the wind and the hush of the sand, I heard it, the heartbeat of my own soul. It was not mine alone, it was ours. The night was wide, painted in the silver breath of the moon. The dunes, shaped like sleeping lions, guarded stories older than the stars. And amidst that sacred silence, I found your voice, soft, steady, like water touching stone. It said nothing grand, and yet it moved the earth inside me. You were standing by the old acacia tree, the same one I had passed 1,000 times, but never truly seen, until you stood beneath it. The desert wind played with your scarf, and for a moment I thought the angels had lent you their grace. You turned, and the world turned with you. Your eyes, not like the ocean, for the sea trembles before such depth. They were like twilight, the place where day and night confess their love. And then you smiled. The dunes exhaled. Even the falcon paused mid-flight, as if the horizon itself bowed in respect. I had heard many sounds in my life, the thunder of hooves, the call to prayer echoing at dawn, the melody of waves kissing the shore, but nothing sounded as alive as the heartbeat I heard that night. It was not just yours, nor mine, but the desert's. I walked toward you, slowly, my footsteps sinking in golden dust. The world felt fragile, as if one careless breath could break the spell that bound us. When I reached you, you didn't speak. You simply looked up, and in your eyes, I saw home. Why do you come here? You asked, your voice softer than sand at dusk. To listen, I said. To the silence? You smiled. No, I replied. To what the silence hides. You tilted your head, curious. And what does it hide? It hides the voice of love, I whispered. The kind that doesn't shout, the kind that waits. We sat down beside each other, and the night wrapped itself around us like prayer. The stars were no longer far. They seemed to listen too. You traced lines in the sand, forming shapes I couldn't name. Perhaps they were letters of a secret language, the script of destiny itself. I asked, do you believe the desert has a heart? You smiled. It does. You said, but it only beats for those who listen. That moment became eternal, not because it lasted forever, but because it never truly ended. Days passed, but I returned each evening. Sometimes we spoke, sometimes we didn't. Yet, in every silence, I felt closer to you, closer to truth. You once said, love is not about holding hands, it's about holding souls. And from then, I never touched you. Yet you lived in every breath I took. I wrote poems on the winds, and the dunes carried them to where you sat. Sometimes I would see your scarf flutter, and wonder if the breeze whispered my name. The desert began to change, not in shape, but in soul. The nights grew warmer, the stars seemed brighter, and the sand shimmered with secrets. I realized then, it was not the desert that changed. It was me. You had awakened something ancient, a rhythm that had slept beneath layers of duty, of crowns and expectations. You reminded me that even a sheikh has a heart that longs, that beats, that bleeds poetry. One night, the wind rose stronger than before. The dunes shifted restlessly, and the horizon disappeared in a storm of gold. I called your name, but only the desert answered. In that storm, I feared I had lost you. But then, I remembered your words. The desert hides its treasures to test the hearts that seek them. So I stood still, closed my eyes, and listened, not to the wind, not to the chaos, but to the heartbeat. It was faint at first, then stronger, until it echoed through my chest. Steady, unwavering, pure. I followed it, and there you were. Your hair wild with sand and moonlight, your eyes calm, despite the storm. You said nothing, but your gaze spoke the oldest truth. Love is not found in calm. It is proven in chaos. I took your hand, and the storm bowed to silence. The desert stilled. The dunes returned to their grace. And once again, I heard the heartbeats, not of the earth, but of us. Now, whenever I ride beneath the sun, I can still feel them. Those heartbeats beneath the hooves of my horse, beneath the weight of every breath. They are the song of the sands, the prayer of the wind, the promise that love never fades. For the desert has a heart, and it beats in rhythm, with every soul brave enough to love. And when people ask me, what keeps you strong? What keeps you true? I smile and whisper, the heartbeats of the desert,